Last time on
New Woke Warriors.
an alien spacecraft fell from the skies carrying aboard an unexpected and most unwelcome visitor.
Safespace
Was the first to meet this mysterious invader face to face, and the extent of the alien's power was revealed. Despite being one of the mightiest fighters on Earth,
Safespace
awesome energy attack had little effect.
You actually managed to singe one of my leg hairs. Impressive.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the quartering and day 2 of Snowflake and Safespace Gate is on, and it's been an interesting watch for me, and I hope it's been a little bit hilarious for you to watch as well. But I'm seeing this kind of weird narrative creep up where they're like, I saw a tweet from Shoe on Head yesterday, which we probably disagree nowadays on way more than we probably used to, where she tweeted out that people are named Snowflake and Safespace. This is absolutely bait for the get woke, go broke people. So this is definitely a shot at me. She knows who I am. She knows that I embrace this belief, but not necessarily negative, just a comment, right? People, because they know that it's the only way I'll get publicity. You cannot convince me otherwise. And I get it. June doesn't read comics. She's not involved in the comic book world. So let me explain to you, Shu, you're just dead wrong here. This is absolutely 100%
not bait.
This is exactly where Marvel has been going. If you only watch the movies, this is what you think. You think that this idea is so absurd. You know, they never did this in Avengers. That's because the comic books are a proving ground. Really, in my opinion, Marvel keeps them around to keep the IPs alive. They don't really care about making money off comics anymore. They tried to go digital. People didn't really embrace digital comic books like they thought they would. And now they've just got a bunch of blue-haired weirdos drawing most of their books. You know, they've got their main lines, some of the most popular stuff. But if you really want to understand what's going on, what's going wrong with Marvel, you look at what they're doing with their comic books. And the internet is trying to spin this disaster hilariously. So you have June running damage control here, maybe unintentionally, I don't know. I give her the benefit of the doubt more than I probably should. But then you have articles like this. Marvel fans are upset about Safespace and Snowflake from the New Warriors. And I will say this, my friends. At least they didn't denigrate an existing character. All right, so I'll give them that. They created these new characters. Obviously, they're going to flop hilariously, but come on. I mean, we're not upset. We're laughing at you. I mean, look at this trailer. Look at it. 1,900 upvotes on 220,000 views. More importantly, 45,000 downvotes. That's an incredible interaction rate. That's close to 25% of the people that watch the video downvoting it. What does that tell you, Marvel? Look, if you agree with me, leave a like on this video. We'll see if 25% of the people that view it do so. That is an amazing feat. If we get 15%, I will be extraordinarily happy. We could see a lot of the comments saying, this is either the greatest troll in history or the end of Marvel. Regardless, my laughter is accompanied by deep sadness. This can't be real. Oh, I assure you, my friend, that it is absolutely real. Wasn't aware Marvel was doing a crossover with South Park. Read how Snowflake and Safespace battle the problematic in Cell Forces. Oh, in Cell Forces. Haha. Naming progressive characters Snowflake and Safespace, reality has reached South Park levels. To clarify, canonically, if Safespace is caught by himself by a villain, he has no powers, correct? He just stands there and stops attack with his face. Dan Kibblesmith, I don't like cool comics. Marvel, we have just the job for you. I mean, like, come on. And then, and let me, allow me to get kind of serious here for a second, because I often talk about the soft spot, not the safe space, in my heart for local game shops. These are the small, your town might only have one, might not have any. If you're lucky, you've got maybe two. These are small game shops where you go to play like Magic the Gathering or D&D, or you go play your Warhammer 40K. These type of games that need other humans to play. Local game shops rely desperately on the game makers making the right decisions to continue to exist. And if you owned a comic book shop or own one currently, this is exactly the kind of crap that you've been getting from Marvel and Image Comics and other people over the past couple years, and it's killing you. It's ending this business because this is what they're spending time on. Instead of working on a new IP that might actually sell, it might, I know it's like big brain, right? Make a new IP that might actually sell and not just be widely mocked. You might save some comic book shops. I mean, they can only sell so many Spider-Man comics. I mean, when there's like 3 or 4 go-to comic books, when there used to be 30 or 40, that is telling you something. You can see Marvel fans are super upset about the new Warriors reveal. Again, this is a weird framing. Comicbook.com is definitely a left-leaning place, I believe. And we're not upset. We're disappointed. There's a big difference there. Especially concerning Safespace and Snowflake, the two new heroes join the rest of their team in being themed around internet culture in the same way that the 90s team were extreme and the 2000 iteration was focused on reality television, the rise of the influencer culture. Safespace and Snowflake are two young heroes with cryokinesis and force field projection. The twins are billing themselves as a post-ironic mediation on using bad behavior and combat bullying. What? And by the way, as this person, Maddie Gonzalez, puts out, I am begging you as well. This is not a brother, and this is not how brothers and sisters look. Comic artists, I am begging you to find out what siblings act like. I mean, what? They're twins. It's an odd choice to make, especially on the cover of the debut of the new series. Who knows? I mean, I love you all, but I cannot abide any more family strokes, goofs, and gaffs. I mean, like, it's so... I mean, come on. Even the people that you would argue might be targeted by this don't like it. Here's Queerly Nerd, a nerd comic book action figure aficionado. Snowflake and the new non-binary character from Marvel is the new non-binary. They were created by Luciano and Kibblesmith. I wonder if Kibblesmith has said anything or gone into hiding yet. Top comments. 2 white men thought they could come up with a decent black non-binary character? How about, I'm sorry, but this needs to go back to the drawing board. Those colors are not the non-binary flag. 1970s slang for Snowflake meant a black man who was seen as acting white. Also, my non-binary friends, all 9 of them, at this time said that was clearly a female and male and would never dress like that. Some clarification. The blue one is non-binary. The pink one isn't. Blue one throws ice thing. Pink one makes force field. They are twins. Both the artist and writer are queer. The names are supposed to be ironic. Obviously, they're supposed to be ironic. Everybody knows that. It's just cringe. Oh my God. Hey, speaking as a non-binary individual, this is incredibly embarrassing and a huge misstep that really needs a second pass. Everybody hates it. Everybody. You could see a lot of the replies. Here. You can't just slap traits that line up with marginalized groups onto poorly imagined characters and act like you're doing a good job of representation. They always eat each other. They always eat themselves. Why are Maya people represented? Why aren't people from India represented? Right-wingers, left-wingers, Snowflake and Safespace are awful. Dan, did you speak to a single person 30 or under when you came up with this? Have you ever met a non-binary person in your life? This is like insult to insult. I'm not insulted because of the horrible, horrible rep, but because I can afford to eat and Marvel paid. I can't afford to eat and Marvel paid for this. I mean, like, these dudes are getting absolutely, here's the artist. And I feel bad because he's just the artist. I don't know how much, you know, real input he had on this. How long until a villain puts him into a hospital by misgendering them? I mean, come on. I'm not going to lie, because of this, I had to check to see if you were actually a right wing making some sort of anti-SJW comic. Everybody hates it. Here's an interesting paragraph to end this all up on. This is the Mary Sue whom you would have expected to fawn all over this. Again, I say this with respect to the creators of these characters, but I am sure they were done with love, because I'm sure they're done with love and the intent to be inclusive. It does matter to have black NB characters. NB characters? Do people just make up words in comics? To have fat indigenous women and other marginalized characters, so they know they have a space in the industry. However, it doesn't mean that mistakes don't get made. I do feel like these names are an error and will be held against this comic despite the good intentions that are clearly built in. I mean, are you joking? Nobody is buying this book. And this is just another nail in the coffin in the struggling comic book industry, that people run these comic book shops as, in a lot of ways, a form of passion and love, as opposed to expecting to ever get rich. This isn't the 70s and 80s anymore. You're not getting rich selling comic books. And imagine doing it for the love, to provide your friends and families places to buy comic books, and then you have to find spot on your shelf for this to go and die. Marvel, it's over.